TruthSeekah and or its affiliates are not responsible for any strange phenomena that may occur during or after listening to this podcast, which may include the following: heightened senses of awareness, psychic abilities, UFO sightings, alien contact, time loss, out-of-body experiences, ringing in the ears, ESP, lucid dreaming, increased synchronicities, astral projection, telepathy, stronger intuition, levitation, miraculous healings, and or remote viewing. Please be advised to listen at your own discretion.
Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? To a place to walk on troubled seas, faith to stand when I don't believe. I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
You are now locked into the TruthSeekah podcast.
Gargoyles, psychics, everything's ungodly. Dark's at it.
Streaming live at TruthSeekah.com.
She's not a Christian.
Give it up, y'all.
Your portal to the paranormal, esoteric, and all things spiritual.
She's tampering in dark's at it stuff.
And now, your host, TruthSeekah.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, TruthSeekah. This is the TruthSeekah podcast, and I am joined by my lovely wife, Arien Spirit Wolf. Welcome, Arien.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's been a few months.
We did our episode together 1 year going full time doing the music and podcasting, and 1 year of being let go from my job. So we did that episode where I brought you on and we talked about the journey, and then a lot of people loved it. A lot of people were wanting you to asking if you have excuse me, your own podcast, where do you share your thoughts and things like that. So a lot of people were asking about that. So people were saying we should do more stuff together, and it just so happens that we're off together today, so figured we'd do it. So we're just going to do a Q&A. There's already questions piling up. We'll try to tackle some of those questions. If you have questions for us as a couple or Arien by herself or whatever, go ahead and do that. And we're just going to hang out with you guys here on Thanksgiving Eve, the day before Thanksgiving. So want to say a huge thank you to everybody who is supporting the channel, supporting the stream, supporting the podcast, my music, all of that good stuff, supporting us as a family. Thank you guys. So everybody who's doing that via Patreon, I want to give a quick shout out to some of the newest patrons within the last week or so. Special shout out, first of all, to people who are supporting at the Diamond Body level. So I'm going to give a shout out to Benny Ween, and his family. Thank you guys for supporting the work. Also to Adam Brink, supporting at the Diamond Body level. Thank you, brother, for your commitment, man, and believing in what we do. So thank you for that. Some of the newest patrons within the last week or so. Shout out to Angela Green. Shout out to Home Sauce, my brother, for doubling down. Thank you, brother. I see that on the back end. Thank you for to Analog, who just joined us. Let's see who else we have here. And The Alchemist. Chad, what's up, brother? Welcome. And someone named Issa Gate. Thank you guys for believing in the work and joining via Patreon. If you'd like to support, please head on over to patreon.com/TruthSeekah. TruthSeekah, this show doesn't exist without your help. We are listener funded, so if you believe in the work and you want to see more episodes and take it to the next level, please head on over there and do whatever you can. You get access to my entire discography of music, which is 10 plus albums. All the new music that I'm doing, it's uploaded. I'm one song away from finishing the Colors EP, which is the Chakras EP. One song away from that, but everything else is uploaded already. So all the songs that are done are already there. It's going to be some changes, some mastering. I'm going to do some other takes and stuff. But you guys get to hear the raw material that's there. So patreon.com/TruthSeekah. You also get access to our Thursday night School of the Mystic sessions, which are really near and dear to my heart. We won't be doing School of the Mystics this week because it is on Thanksgiving. But we will be going live tonight, Wednesday nights. We do our open lines, prayer and healing, and psychic readings with Christy Lee. So that'll be streaming on the channel as well. If you'd like to call in, the phone lines will be open. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. We always have a lot of fun tapping in and tuning in with that. So with that, I'm going to say thank you guys, and we'll just go ahead and try to jump into some of these questions here. Ask your questions. We'll try to get to them, and I'll read them for Aaron and try to be interactive and not have dead air, because that sucks. Christy Lee, right off the top, says, what are a few of Aaron's favorite essential oils? What oils does Aaron recommend for people who are new to oils?
Okay. Well, a few of my favorites are here lately. Frankincense is one of my favorites. Frankincense is supposed to be a really good meditative oil. It's supposed to help you awaken and enlighten spiritually, and that's the oil everybody knows as baby Jesus oil. That's the one they gave Jesus at his birth. It's extremely healing and potent, and I think it smells wonderful. It's kind of a piney, resiny smell. And recently I got poison ivy, and anyone who knows me knows I'm severely hyperallergic to poison ivy, and usually it takes over my whole body, and I have to go several doctor visits, get steroid shots, get prescriptions, and I'm just usually miserable for months. But this time when I got it, instead of doing all of the doctor visits and stuff, I used my oils on it, and thankfully I did not have to go to the doctor. It stayed local to where my body was infected, and I mean, it still was an irritation, but it didn't spread, and I was really thankful for that. So frankincense has become one of my favorites because of that, because it saved me a lot of heartache and pain and money and doctor visits. Some that I would recommend for people who are new to oils are the starter kit. Comes with 11 different oils, and it's a really good way if you want to start using essential oils in your life for your family. Some of my favorites in there are peppermint. It's good for cooking and flavoring things. It's also good for driving the other oils down into your skin. So when I use the frankincense on my skin, I put peppermint on top because it opens the pores and drives it down really deep into your tissues. So peppermint is a really good starter oil.
We had peppermint yesterday.
Yeah, I made hot cocoa yesterday and put peppermint in it just for flavor, and the pure peppermint essential oil, it tastes so much better than the artificial peppermint flavor. What do you think would be good for other people starting?
Lavender.
Oh yeah, lavender.
Sleep at night. Lavender is interesting, and I want to throw this in there just to kind of weird conspiracy stuff. I remember listening to Coast to Coast AM, and there was this caller who called in, and they had these reports of these UFOs that had landed in a field somewhere. It was a lavender field, and they said the aliens were getting out the ship picking lavender. And then my mind immediately goes to, okay, lavender helps you sleep, and these aliens have this type of chemical. They come into your room and spray you with this lavender, so you know, the husband wakes up, but the wife, he's shaking her, the wife, the kids, the dog, everybody's asleep, but the person they're trying to take. So my mind immediately went to that. Not saying that that's the case or aliens are actually doing that, but that's where my mind goes with ufology and lavender, because lavender does help you sleep. I'd have problems sleeping, and lavender helps you go to sleep. So that's a good one to start with, I think.
So peppermint, lavender, and if I had to pick one more, I'd say thieves. Thieves is really good. You can use it for cleaning, for detox. It will numb a sore throat.
Yeah.
It'll heal an ulcer in your mouth. You know, that's not approved by the FDA, but those are the things I use it for. And I use thieves cleaner to clean the whole house. It kills germs on countertops and will kill mold, and it's just... That's one of my favorites too. So I would start with those three if you only want to start with a couple. And all three of those are in the starter kit.
thieves for me is like now I associate it with cleaning, the cleaning smell. Like if you'd have Comet or 409 or something you used to clean the house with all these nasty chemicals and stuff. Like when you smell that, you automatically think of cleaning chemicals and poison and stuff. But now, if we have a spill, we get thieves out. So thieves, when I smell it, it reminds me of cleaning stuff. And yeah, when I had that chest cold that I couldn't shake, man, for like a while, I couldn't quit coughing. Honey infused with thieves really helped at it. So that was cool. It was nasty, but I drunk it and it helped. I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, and the whole thing with frankincense as well, getting to like a biblical look, like there's some really deep esoteric metaphysical properties when it comes to frankincense, that the genetic makeup of the scent that comes from it is small enough to get into your pores as you smell it, and it like repairs your DNA and it fixes your body and stuff like that. There's some really neat articles online when it comes to frankincense, and seeing that that's what they brought baby Jesus, right? When he was born, they brought him frankincense and myrrh and that stuff. So that's interesting too when it comes to frankincense. So we have some of the resin as well. She bought me some resin, so I have this frankincense resin that I use, and it's pretty cool.
I think I just dropped one. Can you see?
Yeah, for those of you who are listening on the podcast, she's holding up some of the resin. But it's hard, and I've talked about it before, but it's kind of hard. But if you play with it and just work it in your hands, it gets soft and gummy. And I'll just stick it on my hand and just let it stay there and absorb the healing benefits from it. So it smells good. Something about aromatherapy too, with incense and the oils and anything like that. Just actually smelling the stuff can put you into relaxed states or euphoric states or whatever the case is when you're burning types of incense and using those oils too, which is really cool. And there was like different oils and scents and things like that were used in temple ritual in every culture. They used them in every culture. Like the Mayans used it, the Hebrews used it. Like even now, still in the Catholic Church, you have the person who goes through with the incense. That stuff puts you in a relaxed state, heightened senses of awareness to help you to enter trance state. So that's why they use that stuff. Right back, another question from Christy Lee is what's her favorite barn story? And just to preface it really quick, she works at a place called the Buckaroo Barn, where they do physical therapy for disabled children on horseback. So we ain't got to go into a lot of detail. I know we did it last time, but one of your favorite stories right off the bat would be cool.
Probably one of my favorites that comes to mind first anyway is this child named Todd. And when I first started there about 10 years ago, Todd was coming for therapy, and he was walking with canes or a walker. He had to have assistance. And I remember him riding the horse and was telling us about his latest doctor's visit, where the doctors told him he would never be independent, he would never walk, and he just told us, and I told that doctor that he was wrong, and I was going to walk no matter what. And now a few months ago, I asked for an update on Todd, how he was doing, because he's graduated high school now. He's a very, very smart child, and he's now going to college and living in a dorm, and he's on his own. He's living the dream. He does have someone that assists him when he does need assistance, but he's living on his own independently, attending college, and making great grades and great strides, and I just can't wait to see what he does with his life.
It's awesome. You guys have seen a lot of kids take their first steps.
We have.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, because sometimes, a normally developing child will take their first steps, between a year and a half at age, usually around that time. And some of these kids, these parents have been working with them their whole life, and they'll be 4, 5, 6, 8, and still have never taken independent, unassisted steps. So those moments when those children take their first independent steps are really emotional, and it's fun to be a part of that and to get those kids as strong as possible and help them to reach their potential.
Right. Austin Kerr says, how do you guys maintain balance in your lives? Balance from what? But finding somebody, a spouse who compliments you instead of complicates you, like having somebody who like assists you in your other half, that's good at the things that you suck at. Like, you know, we talk about like building a team and finding partners and friends and stuff in your life, and everybody wants to, you know, do the same thing or find people just like you, and that's good. But building a team, a family is a team, and so you need people who play to your weaknesses. Like the stuff that you suck at, you need somebody who's good at it. Like, and so I think that helps us balance a lot of stuff out. You know, as far as handling the day-to-day stuff through life, homework. I suck at homework. Like, she knocks that out, and you know, it's hard for her too. But you know, just having somebody in your life that compliments you, plays to your weaknesses, and then you guys make a good team, a power couple. That's the balance, right?
We do balance each other out. You know, like yin and yang. We're very different. We have a lot in common, a lot of similarities, but we have different talents and gifts, and I feel like we do balance each other out. And I hate to put that on another person, though, like to say we maintain balance in our lives by having each other, but we really are like two halves of a whole. That's just how we operate, and I think that's how God designed our lives to be. But not everyone, you know, has that other person yet. So I'd say to find balance, like he said, try to do that within yourself, to focus and develop things that are harder for you. And sometimes you have to find that balance within yourself, and that's okay. Just try to stay away from extremes, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so like a lot of times people, I don't know, think or hope that Arien is just like me. We're like, but you know what I'm saying, we're different. But I think that, and I caught some flack in the past from people, close friends, was like, oh, Arien's not as spiritual as you, or she doesn't do, you know, these type of things. Like, she's like the balance, man. She's very spiritual. She's very intuitive, very empathic. But no, she doesn't go outside for hours on end and stargaze and try to make contact with the avians or anything. She doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. It's more her. I think her spirituality is more of just a personal inward connection with God through prayer, through meditation, through just an inward knowing that you're connected to the whole universe, to every person, to every being. So I think for her, it's something that's more of just an inward knowing. She doesn't go out and do that kind of stuff. She doesn't go out and, hey guys, let's go stargaze and try to signal. No, it's not like that. But it's a balance in it, because like she's more grounded, and I'm pretty far out. But that helps me to be grounded. That's my tether, right? Tether to reality, to life, to kind of bring me back at times when it's easy to get far out there. There's a lot of people who get far out there and they don't come back. You know what I'm saying? They're still out there. They don't have that strong anchor in their life. And so I think Arien is that for me, but not to negate that she's not as spiritual. I don't think there is a thing that's as spiritual, just because there's so many different aspects of spirituality or just of life that you can focus on, and all of it counts. It's all, at the end of the day, like I say, like spirituality it should be practical. Right, help you in your day-to-day. I mean, most of these people blogging about spirituality and doing videos, they're doing it from their parents' basement. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about spiritual practice from their parents' basement. That's kind of weird to me. You know what I'm saying? They're so spiritual minded that they're no earthly good. It takes both. We should be so spiritually minded that we're earthly incredible. So it's about balance, man. And you've got to find that person. And what God has joined together, let no man tear apart. And know that that's the person God has for you. And we've been together since I was 14. So, and we're still falling in love daily and learning new things about each other and just growing together and learning this whole thing. So it's an interesting road. Word says, what are your thoughts on alcohol? And then right after it, Desiree says, I believe alcohol is called spirits for a reason. Wine and spirits.
Well, my thoughts on alcohol are, I don't think it's necessarily evil in itself. I do think excess alcohol is not a good thing. Because if one of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control, then it would be fair to say that the opposite of the fruit of the Spirit would be a lack of self-control. And you can't, if you drink too much, you can't control your actions, you can't control your body, you can't control what comes out of your mouth. And I think sometimes those things can do irreparable damage. So I think having a glass of wine or having a beer is not evil, unless God has specifically told you to stay away from that. But it can be if you take it to excess. You're supposed to have balance in all things, and I think excessive alcohol can be a bad thing.
Yeah, and in moderation, I think all things are good. But you got to know yourself too. At the end of the day, you have to know yourself. I talk about it all the time. I know people, and I've been around people who, once they start drinking, they want pills. Once they start drinking, they want to smoke crack. Like, this is how it is. So you know that, guess what? You can't drink. You have to know yourself and know what it leads to. Everybody's different. Know yourself, and you know what I'm saying? It's a fine line. You gotta, a lot of people teeter that line. They, try to find balance on that line, but they cross it, and some people, there is no line. They just go, I know people, when they drink, they try to get as much as they can. They can't have a beer or two or a glass of wine or two. They want more. They get more alcohol and then more drugs, more substance, whatever it leads to. So know thyself and you will be known. Chris Garner says, I think he says, what is TruthSeekahs man? It says man code like. I think he means man cave. You think?
I don't know. A man cold is technically like something that a woman could power through, but a man acts like he's dying. So I don't know if that's what he means.
Maybe, because I was talking about I was sick. So maybe. I don't know, because he's laughing about it.
Yeah.
Be more Pacific.
He's living. He'll survive it.
Be more Pacific. Oh, I would be dead. Like, I would have died. I would have died. Like, if she wasn't there taking care of me. Let's see.
I keep him properly oiled.
Allie Graham, shout out to Allie, says, what is her favorite thing to do?
Ooh. I don't know. I like to do a lot of things. I like to spend time with my family cuddled up on the couch. That's one of my favorite things. I love to go hiking. Hiking in the mountains would be way up there on my list of favorite things to do. I love to ride horses and just be around horses. I think my favorite thing to do would be to spend time with my family and friends, but if that time was spent hiking in the mountains, that would be ideal. Or horseback riding.
Austin says, any opinions on earth angels and our purpose here?
Earth angels. I really feel like I've met a few earth angels in my life. And I don't mean necessarily that they're some otherworldly being. I think they're just, the ones that I'm talking about are human beings that are open and hear the word of God and the voice of the Spirit, and they follow it. These people have greatly impacted my life, directly answered prayers that I've asked God for, and just a great source of joy and confirmation of things in the Spirit. And I've met several people that I would call earth angels, but I think that they're just really open spiritual beings who hear the Spirit and obey it.
It shows you, it's real weird, man, but everything is planned out. Like, you're not alone. Like, God has your steps ordered, and he has angels and boundaries and human angels who hear his voice, and then etheric angels as well who hear his voice and do his will to keep you on that path, to teach you, nothing is by chance, nothing is by mistake, and that's the beautiful thing about it. And no matter where you go, what you do, you're in his plan, you're in his will. And so, we talk about finding out what that will is and working with God on that will versus working against God. Once you find out those strides and everything happens for a reason, the song and dance becomes a lot more beautiful. But talking about angels, this is a cool story that maybe you can share, because I don't know if you really talked about it, but talk about when you were working at Neighbors and the speaking in tongues incident that happened. That'd be something to bring up, because he came in at, like an angel. We thought he was an angel or something at first, right?
Yeah. And it goes back to just someone who was open to the Spirit and obeyed when the Spirit told them. Well, I used to work at a restaurant called Neighbors, and I waited tables. And at the time, I was bringing my Bible every day, reading, highlighting, studying, just devouring the Word of God. And we were in church at the time, and I really wanted the gift of speaking in tongues. But I'm not one to force anything. My spirituality is a little different, that it's constant, and I see my Creator God in everything and in creation all around me, and my relationship with Him is constant, almost like I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to God. So I wanted so badly to speak in tongues, but I refused to just do it and force it in church. And this man came in. I was waiting on his table, and I don't remember how the conversation started. I think he may have saw me with my Bible on break or something and asked me about it. And he asked me if I had the gift of speaking in tongues, and I said no. And he said, well, do you want it? And I said yes. And so right there in the restaurant, he sort of helped me open up and let the utterance start coming out of my mouth.
On the job.
On the job, in the middle of the restaurant. And yeah. It's weird to think about, but I wanted it so badly, but I was too afraid to open up and do it in church because I don't want to force anything. But then God sent me this earth angel that came to my place of work and helped me to open up that side of myself.
That was awesome.
It was
awesome
definitely
story.
an answered prayer for sure.
Christy says, tell your alien stories. I don't know if you have any.
I am an alien. That's the latest story.
I'm an alien.
I don't know. I don't. It's hard because I've seen lights in the sky. I believe in angels, but I don't really call them aliens. I don't know. I don't really have that many alien stories per se.
Christy also says, oh my God, your hair is beautiful.
Thank you.
It is. It's awesome.
Shout out to Wendy, my girl.
You can't really turn. Let's see. Turn the other way. You can see how there's some highlights in it and stuff. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Shout out to Wendy. Let's see. Alex says, thank you for what you guys do. So nice to see Aaron. Garner says, Merry Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Renee Ruiz is here, our friend.
Hey,
says,
Renee.
Aaron, hello. I see our shared love of Metallica. What's your favorite album?
My favorite album is Master of Puppets. That's my first album I ever bought by Metallica. And I just devoured it. I wore it slap out. And still, every time I hear those songs, I love it.
Yes.
Metallica's the best.
Yeah, we got to see him. It was definitely a bucket list experience. And it was fun at Atlanta. Last year before.
Last year.
Everything runs together. That was last year? Okay.
I think so.
It was awesome, yeah.
No, it was
Last year before?
2017. So a year and a half.
We did like, that was just an awesome week because I surprised you with the Bush concert too. That was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was so funny. Analog says, glad to help, brother. Your teaching is invaluable. Holy Spirit led me to your teachings and I've been learning a ton. That's so awesome, man. Thank you again for the support. Garner says, put frankincense on your hand and let your dog smell it. So funny.
Huh.
Okay.
We'll have to try that.
2020 website says, hey there, is this a chat question or call-in show? Chat, we're just in the chat right now. Tonight we'll do the call-in. So if anybody wants to join conversation tonight or need prayer or reading or just wanted to say hello, the phone lines will be open every Wednesday night. So we'll be doing that tonight. All right, One Time Life from the UK. Have you heard of Obis oil? It is a menthol strong oil. Helps to unblock sinuses in the nose. What other oils do you recommend to unblock nasal? Yeah, whatever those oils are, I need them because I've been stuffy.
I haven't ever heard of that, unless it's another name for something else.
Yeah.
But we use eucalyptus. There are several different strains of eucalyptus, and they all work really well for opening up the sinuses and your breathing. And so I would definitely recommend eucalyptus. There is a blend. I'd have to look it up to see what all is in it, but Young Living has a blend called Raven that is really good, and I know that it has eucalyptus in it, and it's good for opening up your nasal passages.
Adam Starseed, what up, brother? Says, what books do you like besides Harry Potter? LOL. Do you like spiritual books?
I do. I really liked The Alchemist when I read it, and I've been wanting to read that again. Right now I'm in the middle of a book called Unexpected, and it's how to deal with unexpected things in your life and to not see it as wholly negative, but how you can learn from it and get past it. And a dear friend of mine gave me that book, so that's what I'm reading right now.
The Four Agreements, you read that, right?
Yeah. I like the Four Agreements too.
There's some good principles in that.
Really good. Easily applicable to daily life.
Mm-hmm. Did you know a lot of that stuff in the Four Agreements? Like before you went in, is it kind of like something you've already adopted on how to forgive and not hold grudges and move past stuff, or did you get a revelation of a deeper understanding by reading it? Because I feel like a lot of that stuff we already kind of do, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff we already do and know, but we sometimes maybe need a reminder of how important it is.
Or a deeper breakdown of it almost.
Yeah, that was a really good book. I enjoyed that one.
All right. Let's see. Adam says, do you practice meditation?
I do. I actually have an issue sometimes with my heart, that my heart will beat irregularly, and even meditation will physically affect my body, where if I focus on my breath work and close my eyes and try to clear my mind, and I can meditate and affect my heart rate in a positive way. So I do practice and believe in meditation.
Ert Child is in the chat. What up, Ert? He says, much love, everyone. Adam keeps mentioning every time I take a sip of coffee. For those of you guys watching, he said, mug shot. I have these mugs available at TruthSeekah.com if you want one. So this is the TruthSeekah logo. And so yeah, these mugs are available. So this is the mug shot. Yeah, TruthSeekah.com. Click on shop, I think it is, and you can get a mug if you want one. Renee says, beautiful work, sister. I don't know what this person's talking about. I'm just gonna skip that. It's just kind of weird talk. Arien is perfect the way she is, says Chris Bars. Chris, I was thinking of something, man. I wanted to bring it up, man. I know you remember, but I did this thing, and this is like right when me and Chris started talking online several years back, probably 2015, if not before. I took my website and I highlighted just a little piece of text, like maybe one word, and I made it like if you click on that word, it would take you to a secret page of the website, and whoever was the first one to find it, I didn't tell nobody, it's just there. If you're hanging out on my website and you scroll and you accidentally click the word this or the in a big sentence and you open that link up, it would take you to a secret page of the website where you got free merch. And I remember Chris screenshot and said, hey, what is this? I found this page on your website, said I found the secret page and I get free merch, and sent him a bunch of merch for finding that link. But that was a cool little Easter egg that I did, and I may do it again. So hang out on my website. Help me increase the retention time on my website.
I don't think it took him very long to find it either. It didn't seem like it was up for that
No,
long.
it wasn't. Like, I didn't even tell nobody, like, hey, go find it. Like, it was just scrolling, reading the bio and stuff, and found it. So, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, Chris found that. Chris Bars. Adam says, in a relationship, it should always be centered to growing into the best friend in your life. Balance is key. I feel many relationships focus more on attraction instead of finding a friend. Instead of finding a friend you can bond with. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Because you got to think physical appearance does not last forever. It doesn't even last that long, really. So you need somebody. Well, for us, I mean, but you have to have a deeper connection than just what you see on the outside. Some people are beautiful on the outside and really ugly on the inside.
Yeah.
So
it should every area should be good, but you should definitely fall in love with your friend, best friend. Chris Barr says they go to Whataburger. Yeah, people are hating on us for this Whataburger stuff, Chris. That's funny though. We made them. Everybody wanted to go out to eat when we was on our trip to Tallahassee and see everybody off and just go to a nice restaurant. We took them to Whataburger. We got them, Chris. Took everybody. Fluman was there, so. Chris says, ask Erin what's her favorite thing about Whataburger.
I do have a favorite thing about Whataburger, actually. Their vanilla milkshake tastes like homemade ice cream. And I love homemade ice cream, so that's probably my favorite thing. Vanilla milkshake.
Adam says his wife saved him from going down the alcohol path. That's awesome. Garner says, I was a bad binge drinker. I had to go several years of not drinking to find out how to be moderate. Yeah, man. Yep. I remember when I got born again, like I put all that, I quit everything, put all that behind me, didn't want to be around it. And for me, like, we was in witchcraft and stuff, and I was possessed with spirits. And so in my mind, I didn't want anything to do with that old life. So even becoming a Christian several years removed, probably 6 years removed, 7 years removed from alcohol, drugs, anything like that, we would go to some friends would have Shabbat, which is the Sabbath service every Friday night. We got involved with the Messianic circles, and the men would have wine for communion every Friday night, and I would drink grape juice with the women. So because I ain't doing that, so I remember drinking wine again for the first time, and how scared I was, and how hope these demons don't come back and make it be like a gateway, like you opened it up and opened that door back up. So there was several years in between where I did that, and then from there to doing it recreationally or hanging out with friends, having a strong drink or whatever the case is. But that was a big step for me, coming out of the world back into where I wasn't gonna get possessed or become an alcoholic if I had a sip of alcohol type of deal. You shouldn't let anything be unbalanced, or like she was saying, be in excess, whether it's drinking, whether it's smoking pot, whatever the case is, like shopping, like anything. Like, don't let it be in excess. Be a balance in all things. Garner says she got the man cold question right. I'm just messing around. So, Analog says, amen, Chris. I've experienced the same thing. Quit drinking for 3 years before I could actually sit down and enjoy a beer or two. Yeah. That's a good place though, man. I love to see that. I really do. And not everybody's there, so you got to be careful. I remember I'm there. A lot of my friends are there, but I have friends who aren't, and they're going to try to take it to that level. And we're going to have to call the cops. Like, I've had to do that. I've had friends over, they just take it to that level, and there's probably pills involved or something, and they don't drink to have a good time. They drink to forget. And that's a problem. So you have to be careful. Not everybody has that same liberty that you have. Not everybody knows who they are. So it could be a problem. It could be a problem. This is a good question from Wild Things. Do you guys ever question each other's belief? Like, honey, that's a little crazy. Or do you just accept what each other says? and I just want to say that like it was hard for me to come out and tell her about the alien stuff. I knew it was crazy. Like I knew it would sound crazy. Hey, I'm talking to aliens, or I can summon them, or this is what I've been doing. And I felt like it was weird, and all this kind of stuff. So we actually went out to eat, and I sat down and told her, and I had to get the nerve to tell her like what I was doing with like stargazing and feeling like I'm making contact and things like that. So I'll just preface that question with that, and then let you take it from there. I mean, I know we talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, but
yeah, there have been several times when you brought something to me and my reaction was, that sounds a little crazy.
Mushrooms?
Or, no, there's no way that's good.
Yeah.
You got to stop.
Mushrooms was one of them.
Well, I don't know. I definitely question things, because if it's something that God hasn't quickened in my spirit yet, then I'm going to question it. I'm definitely not a sheep. That's one reason my name is Spirit Wolf. Like, I definitely go on my own to seek my own truth, and God reveals things to me in his own timing. Sometimes it lines up with TruthSeekah's timing, sometimes it doesn't. But if it's of him, you got to believe that he'll always reveal it to me. But my initial reaction sometimes has been, yeah, that sounds a little crazy. I'm not sure about that.
It took a long time for her to come around, for good reason. You don't just accept anything and everything, especially anything like drugs or something illegal. That's a whole nother thing on top of it just being weird, right? It's illegal. You can get in trouble, like take your kids away from you. You know what I'm saying? This kind of weird stuff. Like, so you have to have balance and stuff. And some people have it, some people don't. When I did it, like I didn't tell her about it. We went on a men's trip, and I did it. I had been studying it, researching it, and I felt like it was calling me for months. Like that's what I was listening to when I would drive 17 hours on the road. I'm listening to stories about how this stuff has changed people's lives and helped them, and these encounters and stuff. So I eventually felt like it was calling out to me. I did it on a men's retreat, and it changed my life. And I was scared to tell her, but it was about being open, being honest, and kind of shining the light on the dark places and not hiding anything. And so I was like, there's no way I can keep it from her, like especially if I feel like it's something beautiful that changed my life. I have to tell her, and I want to be honest, and maybe she won't understand. Maybe she'll be mad to think that I was out doing drugs with the friend. I don't know what she was going to think, but I don't want to hurt her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep anything from her. So it was kind of hard to tell her, and it took a long time. Like for so long, she wasn't even cool with it. Even when we planned another trip to go out, as I was leaving, like it wasn't pleasant. You know what I'm saying? I was going out with the fellas, and it was like months later, and she wasn't cool with it. But eventually, I don't know if she's seen what it did to me. She's seen the fruit in it, right? And I think that's why she kind of knew that it was legit. But then our other friends would maybe try to say the same thing, and they're just doing it to get high, to have a cool experience or whatever the case is. And so I guess she had to see that wasn't what I was doing, that it was something legit, and I didn't play with it. Like it was something that's very near and dear to my heart and changed my life. So.
Yeah, he wasn't going out. My worry, like we knew people who would go out every weekend, dump their kids off on their grandparents for 4 or 5 days and just go get high.
Yeah.
And every week, sometimes weeks at a time, like these people would just go and
it'd be mushroom. They'd do mushrooms.
Yeah,
and whatever, substance. And other stuff too.
So that I think that's why it took me so long, because it.
I have the ability to. I don't barely do anything. I go if I'm into something, I'm 110%. So I know you know that, and so I was like, hey, I do mushrooms now. And you're like,
yeah, great. I just lost my husband. He's gonna be gone every weekend. I'm gonna be here with Nevaeh. It's gonna be bad, but it was not like that at all, and so it just took time. It took me time for God to show me, and I'm definitely like Thomas in the fact that sometimes he has to show me.
Yeah.
So.
Even with that though, like, I haven't even done it like a whole bunch. Like, I talk about it because it changed my life, and my encounters changed my life, and I've only had a couple, And I talk about how, you know, I did it one time and it wasn't even a whole bunch. I did, and it was so beautiful. And I did podcasts speaking on it as an expert. Like, yeah, this is what happens when you do it, and doing interviews with people and stuff. And then I went in and did a stronger dose and blew my mind even deeper and some crazy stuff, but it was so beautiful and it literally changed my life. And so I've only done it a couple times like that, you know, actually like only 2 times, I think, man, 2-3 times. And in the past, since like 2015. And and I've had people say, you know, they get mad that I'm even talking about it openly, talking about it, and I have to talk about it because they won't talk about it. So I started talking about it as soon as I did it. It's something beautiful, and like, if it's something that changed my life, I'm going to talk about it. You should have seen me when I got born again. I had like this secret, like I had what everybody is looking for, and I started, like, I was overzealous with it. So I made sure that like I talked about it in the podcast and stuff, and I continue to talk about it. It's not like I always do it, or I'm just a proponent, just over. No, it's not like that. But some people may think it is, but it's not. But for something to be that powerful, how many times do I have to do it before I have the ability to talk about it? They would say, "Oh, you've only done it twice, and you're talking about it like you're an." How many times does it take? Like, you know, it kind of goes back to my podcast. How many encounters? How many angelic encounters do you need before you talk about it? How many times do you need to get born again, or get baptized, or whatever the case is, before you talk about it? Is it 7? Is it 17? In the Bible, like, when something happened, like, it happened for a reason, and they talked about it, and it changed their life. It changed their you know what I'm saying, course of their destiny. And I feel like that's what it did for me. So I don't speak on it as an expert. I speak on it as my experience and what happened to me and the fruit thereof. And I don't encourage anybody to do nothing unless it's calling to you. So I'm not like a proponent telling you to go out. It's illegal. It's hard to get. You know, I don't even know. But if it calls you, it calls you. And we'll get off that rant. Let me jump here to some, unless you have something you want to follow up on that. I mean,
just that I've never done it, so I can't say, and I won't ever do it unless, like you said, I feel called to, and I haven't yet. So,
Adam comments and says, them secret angels surround us daily. Real talk. Let me just read here. Zach says, "Hey guys, my friend reads tarot cards and tries to use them in biblical terms. What do you guys think of that?"
I don't think anyone needs tarot cards to give you a word, but I think it could be used as a tool. That's what I'm going to say about it.
And it was weird for her because when we were in occultism and witchcraft, like dark stuff, she was into tarot cards. She did tarot readings. So now that we're on this side of it, her connection probably goes back to what she came out of. Just like my mind went back to alcohol is used to for you to get messed up, and you know, and you have this cognitive dissonance, this association with it, that you know, you have to contact spirits to use tarot cards, and the spirits are going to speak, all of this kind of stuff. So I'm sure that's, you still kind of hold that a little bit, or I mean, you can't help it, even if you know what I'm saying, let go of it and your mindset evolves. I mean, kind of the same thing with questioning stuff. I have some tarot cards. Let me reach and grab these. And this kind of goes to your question. These are, I guess, if you want to call them Christian tarot cards, but they're off of a game website, like they sell like Parker Brothers stuff. But these are called the Tarot of the Most High. I don't read tarot. I don't know the stories and what each one means and all that kind of stuff. But I've used these as a tool. I don't need them. I use them. They're beautiful. I know how to listen to the spirit, just like the spirit will speak expressly through anything, through billboards, through signs, through television, through donkeys, through your family, through me. Like, the spirit can use whatever he wants to talk if you're listening. And so I use these tarot cards, and these are done in such a way where they have the, you know, the original arcane tarot written at the bottom, but across the top of these cards they have like the Christian terminology and scriptures written on each one, so that like if we're doing a reading or if we're in prayer and we pull a card, for me, the first time I tried it, like it was something that whatever that person was going through, whatever we were talking about, the card had something to do with that. And so I would use it in a way that I would actually pray and release things, whatever they were going through, according to the card. And every time I wanted to find out if it's something I can use, is it real, whatever the case is. And the first time I did it, we did the open lines, and every caller I had, it just kind of helps me like a nudge. Okay, pray for this. Okay, do that. Okay, do this. And it's a tool. Everything is a tool. Prayer is a tool. Meditation is a tool. Chanting is a tool. Incense. All of these things are tools to be used in your spirituality, and you can use them for good or evil. If you're praying to God, if you're praying to Christ and fellowshipping with the Holy Spirit and channeling the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, that's good. But if you're praying to demons and you're doing satanic mantras, trying to leave your body and let demons come and inhabit your body and things, then it becomes demonic. Then those prayers and chanting and meditations become demonic. So that's what it is. But I think she kind of, even when I brought those in the house, I'm sure she kind of like, what? You're getting into tarot cards? So, but I don't read tarot as you know, a psychic reader. I don't do it like Christy Lee. Christy Lee's in chat. Christy Lee's she knows how to do it. But I don't knock it either, because it kind of works the same way.
It's not really any different than if you were to open the Bible and just open it and point and read the scripture that's there. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and we used to do that, and a lot of people, I got checked doing that. Like, a lot of people open, Lord, what do you want to speak to me, Lord? Open the Bible and just go to crazy scripture. And most of the time, because there's a lot of good stuff in there, you go to something that you need it for the day, or it just works out. But there's other times I've opened it up and read it, and it's, I'm going to curse you and your family will be destroyed by locusts. And I'm like, oh, Lord, that was the wrong one. Let me do it again. In Jesus' name. Next scripture. Oh, that's a good one.
Like Bible Magic 8 Ball.
Yeah, it's like the Bible Magic 8 Ball. So you think that it works that type of way. So, let's see. I'm going to get back to these questions here. All right. So anyway, Zach, that's to answer your question and my view on that, using them in a biblical way, if that's even applicable. I mean, I don't think they're biblical. I don't think that there's like instances in the Bible where they use tarot cards, but it goes back to divination, which is a biblical source and a biblical word that they did for good. And it's the spirit speaking to you, using cards, using a pendulum, using the you know what I'm saying, the drawing of straws. Okay, Holy Spirit, whoever's supposed to be the 13th disciple, when we pull these straws, that's the will of God. They pulled straws or threw the lots at the ground, and there's different divination practices that were used. That's what the Holy Spirit says. We're going with it. And it's like by luck. It's where you get the term the luck of the draw. It's divination, and not in a bad way. And the Bible talks about it in a good way. Fluman, here I am about to text you, Truth, that I was thinking of you, and then I remember that you have a podcast right now. What's up, Fluman? Love you, brother. And then Analog says, I've been seeing that as well, Zach, talking about the cards. Christians using angel cards. I'm not sure where I stand on that. It would be interesting to see what TruthSeekah thinks about it. There was a ministry out of Australia, and I need to reach out to them again. They branded the term destiny cards. And so somehow it related back to Bill Johnson and Bethel. And that got really big, that Bethel and those guys were practicing tarot readings from a Christian perspective, and they called it destiny cards. And I think that they would do something similar. Maybe they have their own cards or whatever. But I reached out to them to try to get them on the show, and you can see, like, he was kind of skittish, thinking that I'm like a Christian ministry that wants to expose them or, say why it's not right. But I'm like, look, I'm open. Let's talk about it, And we emailed back and forth a couple times, but we just never got a date. But I'm gonna message those people. But anyway, there was a lot of articles. If you type in Bethel Church tarot cards, Bethel Church destiny cards, where and I think Bethel renounced it. It said, no, we don't do such things, right? But they're the ministry that they was involved with out of Australia were doing it. So, okay, so Chris Barr says, ask Aaron if Derek is growing them dreads. Next question.
He still has them, yeah.
Next
Sure.
question. Next question. She doesn't like dreads. They're disgusting.
I don't
She
talk
doesn't
about
like
them anymore. You got to give me that.
We've come to an understanding. Yeah. I gave Chris a dreadlock when we was on vacation last year about this time.
Next question.
I gave Chris a dreadlock and his wife made him take it out.
I feel you, bro. I feel you, Nicole.
One Life talking about the eucalyptus. He says it's really helpful. Irk says, is the gamer girl going to make an appearance on Twitch again?
I don't think so.
Irk's been around a while from our Twitch days. I flirt with that idea because I like the game, and why not hang out with the people who want to see that? We like the game. We play online with our friends. That's kind of our downtime thing that we do. We game together. I love it. But no more Twitch. It's a job, right?
You kind of have to do it regularly, and I really like to take breaks from the video games because I just it gets under my skin. It makes me so angry, and I start cussing, and I like to be able to take a break from it.
Yeah.
And plus, with a name, I even changed the name The Gamer Girl because I can't stand people making sexual comments and all that stuff. It really gets to me.
It's a different crowd who comes through that too.
Some people can just let it roll off, but it gets to me too much. I can't take it.
It's a different crowd. Garner says I unknowingly got married on Hetfield's birthday, talking about the lead singer of Metallica.
August 3rd.
We found... What's my birthday?
January 17th. Denise's birthday is the 4th. That's how I always remember it.
We found out by going to their concert on our first anniversary. When they announced James' birthday, wife looked at me and asked if I planned it. Yes, I did, babe. He said, I did not, but it's so cool. Synchronicity, yeah. Bars says, how's the snake doing?
Norbert's doing great. He's getting really big. He's like 35 inches long now.
We have a pet snake. She has a pet snake, I guess. I like to play with it,
You can learn a lot from snakes. I like them. And he's so easy to care for, too. Like our dogs and everything, we have to get pet sitters when we leave the house. And Norbert, I'm just like, bye, Norbert. See you in a week.
Sunray says, hello, it's great to join you both. What's up, Sunray? Welcome to the stream. Adam says, promote them mugs, brother. Yeah. I know we're a couple questions behind, so hopefully by intuition we can kind of pick up on where you guys were going with the questions. So we're a couple questions behind, but we're going to run through these. I guess Adam posted a question, and I see Christy mentioned it, so maybe it's time. Adam says, talk about the glasses you have been making, Aaron.
Oh.
And talk about what it's for, too.
I've been making beer mugs. I'll go grab a couple.
I'll set it up. She's making beer mugs and shot glasses and stuff, and she does this printout and can do custom etches on the glass. And so she's doing it to raise money because my daughter's going to... she has her school trip where she's going to Washington, D.C., and it's a lot of money. So we're trying to do little things we can. They've been doing stuff at, like...
It's hard to see
at the grocery station. The
probably against your shirt, yeah.
The grocery store and stuff like that, trying to raise money. And she's been making these mugs and...
There's Bars's beer mug. Look how big this thing is.
Yeah.
You're going to be so drunk if you
Chris,
drink
I want
beer
to see you. When you come down, we're filling that thing up and you're going to drink it. Fill up with moonshine, Chris.
Oh my God, he would die.
He's done it before though, y'all. You say, what, really? Yep, go back and listen to the podcast. I interviewed Chris Bars, and he talked about his spiritual awakening on moonshine in the mountains of Tennessee, which we need to get back to, y'all. We're going to do it soon.
But yeah, I'm making those glasses to help support my way to go on the trip with Nevaeh to Washington, D.C. It's going to be a really awesome thing. She's so looking forward to it, and it's something I really want to share with her, an experience I really want to share with her. So all the money I make making those, doing the glass etching, it's going towards my part of the trip.
Are you shipping those, or you're not? Or you're not gonna ship them?
Some
It
of them,
costs a lot, and it's
Yeah.
kind of fragile, right?
yeah, I can ship it, but it's gonna cost way more. And then the shot glasses I can ship safely, but the wine glasses and the more fragile things, I don't feel like I could ship them safely. They would probably just break.
But if you'd like to donate to that, let me know. I have a link in the description wherever you're listening to this at, and if you'd like to donate for her trip, you could do that. That'd be awesome. If
It
you
would be much
feel
appreciated.
led. It's a lot of money we got to raise. So, let's see. Word says my mom wants to know about her mug. Do y'all still have that one for sale? Who are you, Word? I don't know who you are. I don't by that name.
I made this one too, so I could do a custom order. I could make one like this, or even do the glass etching with this design.
Yeah, she made that one too. Yeah, that's when that was my logo for the Mythicist podcast, and so she actually made that one. So that's what's up. Bars. Everybody just comments bars for Chris Bars. And Fluman says that was his first time ever going to Whataburger. So we had to take you, man. Had to break you in. Garner says I'm going to Whataburger for lunch today. He's lying. Garner has to bring his lunch.
It's not bad. It's just I don't get the hype.
I know your financial situation, Garner. You had to bring your lunch. I'm joking. Hit that Whataburger up, Garner. Yeah. It's what Bar says. Sunray, how does possession occur? Like, at what point do you drink alcohol that can happen? So possession or demons of alcohol. I'll say this, like, I don't know about possession. I've heard stories, demons hanging out at bars because they know that that's a place where people throw off their inhibition. You know, I don't know about getting possessed. There's stories, there's documentaries, but I think alcohol can bring out your demons. You cast off all restraint, and so drinking alcohol, getting to a place where you just say what's on your mind or do things, or so I think that those demons can come out, those negative attributes that you're holding back, that stuff you need to get off your chest. You should get off your chest somehow, but you may not do it the best way, you know. So, or you know, people, it's scary, man. So you have to be careful.
Thought becomes word, and word becomes action. When you speak it out, it creates something. Even when you think it, it begins the creation of something. And so that's why we're supposed to take every thought captive. And if you have negative thoughts that you have to take captive when you're completely sober, if you're drunk and you can't control that, or you have less control over that, your mind could wander and just go on, and you could really end up opening doors or creating something in your life that you don't want. So
there's a lot of people who their lives have been changed forever because they got intoxicated.
Yeah.
Whether they got into an accident and killed somebody or killed a friend.
2 people in my family killed themselves. They were alcoholics, intoxicated, killed themselves.
So you have to be careful, man, and with that, you know, and you do things that you can't take back. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't mean it. You might not have meant it. I've done stuff, you know what I'm saying? And just little stuff. You're like, damn, why'd I do that? You know, the stuff that you know you wouldn't do if you weren't drinking, if you weren't buzzed or whatever. So you got to be careful. Christy Phillips, hey friend, she says, hello to you both and happy Thanksgiving. I wanted to see if y'all are twin flames, or what your opinions about the twin flame connection and the connection to Christ through it. The term twin flame, I guess we resonate with it. You know, I feel she's my other half. She's my soulmate. I think I like that term, soulmate. Twin flame is, I think it's somewhat the same thing. I do believe that God has that person for you. Like, you have that person out there that compliments you. If you lose that person or they get away, you know, maybe God has another one or somebody who can fill in. I don't really know. And it's definitely not, I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of stuff in the scriptures about it, but somebody, I believe in happy endings, man. I believe everybody deserves a happy ending. I believe that everyone deserves a happy. I hope everyone deserves a happy life. I've been having to change my the way I word that, because I hope everybody has the ability to have a happy life and a happy ending. And I think that should be the goal, man. Time is something else. Time has its way with people. Time will change your heart. I'll be waiting at the doorsteps with love, right? Time proves, time tests. It tests marriages. It tests faith, belief systems, love. Time has a way of changing people, and situations change. I don't like it. I wish, maybe I feel that way because I didn't have a dad or whatever, but I'm really, when things are going good, I think, how can we preserve this? How can we keep this like this? You have to work at it. That's why my terminology is changing, that everyone deserves a perfect life, or everyone deserves a healthy marriage. You deserve what you work for. You deserve what you invest in. If you don't invest in it, like, everyone deserves a good podcast. Everybody deserves a good job, deserves to have your dream. You don't deserve anything. You can. It's there for you, but you got to work for it. Sometimes you have to fight for it. It takes blood, sweat, and tears. That's the alchemical, make up for anything, for a good marriage. Blood, sweat, and tears. For a good job, for a good career. Whatever your dreams are, you have to work for it. So fight for what you believe in, and I believe in that. And I've seen people over the years, especially when it comes to spirituality, especially when it comes to religion, ministers, pastors, preachers, evangelists, who seem like they have the cookie cutter marriage, and they have, they have wife and kids and a dog, and then the guy goes outside of the, wedding bed, and leaves the woman he's been with for 20 years for somebody who looks younger, and they tear up that whole beautiful thing that they built. And I've seen people do that, and they'll quote that, they'll say, that wasn't the one God has for me, and I was with the wrong person. And if you're married and got kids, man, and that's the person God has for you. But people, I don't like that. I don't have no time for deadbeat dads. I don't have no time for people who try to wreck homes on either side. And that's just my thing. I believe that God has that person out there for you. And so you have to be careful when you have a platform, for sure, or when you're spiritual. I mean, you got to be careful no matter what you got. But even so much so this, because, like, people, they see something and they want it. Maybe it's a challenge to try to break up the marriage, or I can be a better spouse to that person, or, it gets really weird. And we've heard about it for years in the churches where it happens, man. And I've seen it happen in spiritual circles, and people leave their wives. Their wives are kind of out of shape. They've been doing the family thing for 15 years, and they meet somebody on Facebook who's like, oh, you're a spiritual leader, spiritual guru, and they leave their family because some younger tight body woman comes up and it just undoes everything, and that person dips, and they're still spiritual leaders. They still have people following them. I don't like that, man. I'm against you. Like, that's not good. And God is against you if you breaking up happy homes and marriages. And you got to fight for this stuff, man. It's not, nothing's given. Nothing. You got to fight for it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think a lot of times when you have a platform like that, people maybe watch videos, or they sit in the audience in a church and they hear the person speaking and feel like they're speaking to them, and they know them and know something personal about them, and they just read way too much into it.
Yeah.
Like, that person takes it in a different way than it's meant whenever you speak it.
I mean, this is even healthy. I think that we do this on the stream. There's a lot of, and I've talked to people who talk about, they say don't post pictures of your family, don't post pictures of your wife, because if you want to be successful, you need to make the viewers think that they have a chance with you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of celebrities who are married, but you don't know they're married. You see just all these models and all these great pictures in Photoshop and makeup, and you're like, man, maybe if I go to this club or go backstage or whatever, maybe I have a chance with them. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you, don't show that side of you. Make the people think that they have a shot and a chance with you. But I think it's healthy that we do this to let people know that, look, you don't have a chance. Like, you don't have a shot. So don't even try it.
Some people
try
don't
it.
care anyway.
They take that as the challenge.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, you gotta protect what you believe in, protect your family, and I believe everybody should fight for a happy ending. And it's sad though. Maybe even that's a bad, cause like the more I believe in that, the more I see other people's families, other people's lives, their mind go to waste. Like, you know, it's like the more you fight for your marriage or whatever, and the more you preserve it, you see other people, man, falling by the wayside. You see them getting divorces. You see them losing their mind. You see somebody who's been clean for 10 years go back to addiction. And I know ministers who like I said, who have fallen from grace, people who were preachers over churches and leaders over Celebrate Recovery and overcome meth addiction and all that stuff, and have beautiful families, and then time comes and they don't preserve it, and now they're in prison, and another man is in their home taking their kids to the mall, taking their kids to the park, holding their wife. You know what I'm saying? And like, time is something else, man, and you have to fight for what you believe in. So that's a rant, y'all. Arien, do you share Truth's love for the work of Manly P. Hall? Chris Garner asked.
I've heard a few things, and what I've heard I like, but I've never read any of his texts or anything. I probably should. I feel like if I read them, I would like them and agree with a lot of it.
I think we've probably read stories out of, like, he put out that book where he wrote his own stories. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I told you to read it, or I know I've read some to you. It was out of the book called The Way of the Lonely Ones, where this guy had like an experience with Christ, and he started seeing Christ in everything. I don't know if you read that. I remember showing it to you though.
I'll have to get him to recommend one to me to start with. I think I would like it, but I just have never taken the time to read it.
Garner says, I do not like it when people drop their kids. We do everything with our kids. If kids aren't allowed, I'm not going. There you go. Renee says it's an internet running joke, the cold thing. I think I've heard it before, so yeah. Wild Thing says, do you believe there is any way to distinguish between synchronicities where you are being shown something versus just mere coincidences? I don't believe in coincidences, but yeah.
I think the difference is perspective. If you want to be looking for synchronicities in what you're doing and correlate that with the fact that you're on the right path, or that's God's way of saying, hey, I'm watching you, I'm with you, then you're going to see it that way. But if you don't, you'll look at it all as coincidence. I don't know that there is any difference other than perspective.
Yeah, it's perspective, and like, you become open to it too. You know, it's weird. Like, we've been having them happen like for years now, and there's seasons though. It feels like if I'm not where I'm supposed to be, I don't see those coincidences, or they maybe show up in other ways, because I do feel like those same coincidences show up in God kind of nudging at your heart to get back on the right path, and you're kind of plagued with it, trying to do your own thing, but you see things that kind of nudge you, say, hey, I'm calling you. You know what I'm saying? Watching movies, and that's why I talk about like God speaking to me, watching Josie and the Pussycats at one point. You know, that movie, I'm sitting at your mom's house watching it, and the Lord's dealing with me, saying, okay, they're going to fail, and they're going to keep failing, trying it on their own strength, and this is you pursuing your own stuff, and just the whole plot changes. And so even maybe if you're off the path, God still has that way of you know what I'm saying, wooing you back through things and showing you, and, you know, hey, I miss you type deal. But we've had so many, and they occur more when you're on the right path, I believe, because they're just happening like crazy right now. So much so that our daughter is now like showing me, say, hey, Dad, come look at this, you know, and I'll say something and it'll be on TV or we'll talk about. And so my daughter, 14, she knows what it is too. You know, I don't know if she knows deep down what it is, but she finds it like, hey, this is weird that we're talking about this and now it's showing up or whatever. Synchronicities are beautiful though. Renee says y'all look so happy hiking.
Hiking in the mountains is definitely my happy place, man. I love it.
We wait for the weather to get a little bit more cool so we can go out and actually enjoy the day. And we haven't been yet, but we do need to take a trip to Blakely or something like that for the day. Christy says she loves Renee. Zach says that's good, very good terminology. Thanks, guys. Blessings. Adam says the band Tool is awesome. Yep. We seen Tool last year before. I time sucks for me. I can't. Everything runs together. Time is just insane for me.
It's just flying by. Bible roulette.
Yeah, analog, LOL at the Bible roulette. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, most Christians do that or have done it. You know. Renee says, "And Justice for All." I've seen them. Cool. Analog says they did used to cast stones in the Old Testament. Depends on what type of casting stones you're talking about. Stoning false prophets or casting the lots of rolling the stones and the dice and things. They use dice, you know, with runes on them and with different things. So yeah. Wow. Where are we at? Okay, dang, there's a whole bunch. We'll try to run quicker through the stuff. All right. It's still commenting on the Bible Magic 8 Ball. Christy says, do you guys know what could have manifested to me in particles of blue, white, and purplish light, pulsating with life force, swirling around me, healing me, and communicating light codes to my DNA? That sounds beautiful, man. Sounds like angels. I mean, different ways that they show up. They're just being able to see that energy. Like if you're spending time in meditation and you need that repair done, you spend time with the Holy Spirit. I believe that that's happening. You were just blessed to be able to see it. Mm-hmm. Like when you do that breath work and you visualize that energy coming into your body and you're dealing with some things that you need to get off of you and release, I believe that stuff's happening. And people, a lot of times when they're dealing with depression and stuff like that, and they go to a psilocybin retreat or ayahuasca retreat, like they go deep in and they see beings. Most of the time, Terrence McKenna called them mechanical elves repairing their DNA and doing work on them. So I believe that that energy is healing us and repairing our DNA and changing our DNA as we spend time in the presence of God. And sometimes we're able to see that, sometimes not. Adam says, dread the beard.
No.
Rick Scott says, ask Aaron about frankincense oil. What's the spiritual aspect of frankincense oil? I think we kind of covered that, right, at the beginning. Yeah. We covered that at the beginning. If I don't know if you were here, but we talked about it. Adam says, Aaron, how serious of a gamer is TruthSeekah? I don't think I'm as serious anymore. Like, I still love it. We still play, but it's not like it used to be at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't call you serious. Maybe
I'm competitive,
for a fun
though.
Gamer.
But it's for fun, but I'm competitive. When I play, I want to win,
Yeah.
Like when I play basketball, I want to win. When I do anything, I want to win. When I do a podcast, I want to win. I want it to be good. I want it to, I want it to do its desired task. So, Christy Lee, okay, she's asking about the etched glass. Okay, so we're a little bit behind. Garner says he doesn't like snakes. Christy says it uploaded the light information to my DNA. Said it was amethyst crystalline being of pure divine light. I tried looking into it. Resonates a bit with seraphim. I don't know much on that yet. See, here's the thing, man. If that's what's communicated with you and you can't find anything on it, write it down. Do a podcast, because there's other people who are having those same experiences, but they don't know how to put it into words. Like, man, you know what? And that sounds a lot similar to my buddy Drew having an encounter with a woman who showed up and said that was her name, Crystalline. He said this in the ethers. He went in and this woman appeared to him and said that was her name and was there to heal him, send forth healing. So I'm like, write that stuff down, because if he don't write it down and put it in a book or put it on the website, and other people are trying to Google this stuff that's happening, you're not going to be able to find it, and people are going to be trying to figure out how to ask questions. So if we're open and honest about it and write it down, especially typing it out, people will be able to Google, and your experience may come up to help somebody. Adam says snakes symbolize knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, I've been dealing a lot with the snake terminology because I've been talking about the Kundalini again a little bit. So taking off some of the hysteria and fear behind snakes and religious symbolism. So I love, Chrissy says, I love that. Aaron's so cool. Can you buy a coffee mug like that with that logo in color by chance?
Yeah, I can do that for you, Christy.
You could do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Garner, I'm playing it risky today. Going to step out and spend money for lunch. Okay, you've been about 4 months on their bag lunch. Yeah. I know it's like a treat, man. You got to save that for Friday, though. Well, I guess, maybe it's Thanksgiving Eve. You got to like, kind of make that connection in your mind and say, oh, I can do it today because it's Friday. I remember, like, I would have bag lunch, and then Fridays, a lot of times I would get McDonald's or something, kind of like reward yourself for finishing the work week.
Surviving the week.
Yeah. Adam says alcohol can bring out this dark side of the soul. Fluman says time is of the essence, something the Lord told me a few months ago, and he continues to show me how important time is. Yeah. Christy says choose a happy life and happy ending. Travis says you feel I'm on the lunch thing. It's what wolf you feed, Garner says. That's good. Let's see if we can read through some of these. Let's see. He says, you deserve it, my friend. Yeah, you deserve Whataburger, brother. Allie says, I believe in Christ all the time, I guess, but the happy in my life is Kenny's arms around me. Yeah. We work towards keeping our bond. Thankful for our friends when things get thick. Good friends help hold families. Yeah, it takes a community, man. We need friends. And I'll say this too. You talking about Kenny's arms and stuff. I remember when I first came to the Lord, we did a lot of prayer meetings and stuff. And one of the guys who led me to the Lord and discipled me told me he got the revelation that when we hug each other and embrace each other, it's like Jesus hugging us. So we would always impart that every time we hugged one another and felt like the Lord hugging us as well. So that's good. As like maybe I don't know if you want to brag, but do you have any revelation of like what it feels like to be in your lover's arms, if you feel protected and safe, and does that kind of come across at all?
Yeah, like, sometimes I'll ask you for a hug and we just stand there and hug for like a good 30 seconds, which it doesn't sound like a long time, but if you're just standing there hugging somebody, 30 seconds is a long time, and it causes physical change in your body and in your aura, but also in your body. It makes your brain release different chemicals and hormones, and I love to hug.
Yeah, there was there's a lot of stuff out too, of even with premature babies who are born and they need people to hold those babies and you know what I'm saying, coddle those babies, and it actually helps them. There's the documentary, which is a really good one, man. It's the Zeitgeist documentary, but it's the second one. It's Zeitgeist Moving Forward. Make sure you watch that. It goes into a lot of detail about kids who have grown up without their family showing them affection, without the dad to hug the kid and hold the kids, and kids who want that and didn't get that, and what that does to people. There's also that lady, it was an Indian lady. I don't think it was Malala, but it was a different Indian lady who would hug people and heal them with her hugs. And you can look that up online. So hugging and just human touch and human interaction goes a long way. So I didn't really get a lot of that as a kid. So I make sure that I do it for my daughter, and hugging and things. And so just touching, human interaction goes a long way with the touch. It's powerful.
And it does. It just makes you feel safe, protected. It's a physical way somebody shows you they actually care about you. And yeah, it's awesome.
Garner says, "You always make me smile, Christy." Let's see. Christy says, "Breaks my heart to witness that occurring in relationships." Yeah. Christy says, "I resonate exactly with that. I'll lean towards being a confirmation that I can manifest blessing and God's will into our union. Pray for him to find Christ in his love, through love." Yeah. Create it as you speak it. I mean, that's what these other people are doing. We have these people we're watching them. They have big platforms. They're making it up as they go. And and a lot of times they are being honest with their experiences. And we look up to them. We want to know more. Tell us more. And so I really feel that, like, a lot of times we're looking for confirmation in others to say, okay, does this make sense to you? And if they say no, then we just kind of abandon the idea or abandon the truth that was imparted to us. But we just got to start declaring this stuff, man, and just being open with our encounters and abilities, and just say, try it. Just try it and see what happens. Like, because there's a lot of new stuff that's happening right now. We're getting into a lot of new information. We're being open and honest about stuff, and it's, helping others to do that. And if you have these experiences and don't talk about them, it's just like this unspoken thing that people are going to kind of have a hard time deciphering what's truth, or if they even should look into it, because nobody's talked about it. And so there's a lot of stuff like that we experience in the spirit realm and ethers, and what that looks like, and what's imparted. So I really believe in being open with your experiences, and not even saying that it is truth, but this is what happened to me. This is what I interpreted as, blah, 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 people, but and I think a lot of times people don't want to be open and honest because you're going to get ridicule. You're going to get scrutiny. You're going to get trolls. You're going to get people saying it's demonic. Don't do that. Everybody has this preconceived notion, and a lot of people are commenting on things that they have not even experienced. So that's a big thing about it too, this experience that gives birth to this information in revelation. So be open and honest and embrace your story, whatever it is. Sunray says, "Thank you so much for answering questions. I understand that that definitely makes sense." Awesome. Let's see. Moving along. Let's see. Kurt says, "I found Christ speaks through my heart. As long as I listen to the heart, I will know I won't stray from the divine." Yeah. This is so amazing. After the night I've had, much love from Invercargill, New Zealand. Much love. Hey, much love, Kurt. It's really cool. We got a lot of people joining from all over the world, man. I'm getting messages all the time, and they give me shouts out during the live streams, and I try to give shouts out, just to kind of tag where these people are, and they're all over Ireland. There's some Ireland friends hanging out. We got New Zealand, Australia, sending CDs to China. Like, that's awesome. Okay, Adam brings up a good thing too. I've talked about this. He says, "You really see time fly when your kids grow up. It's crazy." Yeah. It brings it into perspective how frail life is and how fast life is. And everybody always tells you when you have a baby, cherish the moments, they grow up fast. And it becomes cliche because everybody says it. But until you experience it, then it becomes more real. And yeah, they are what help keep you tethered to time and to use your time wisely, because they're growing up, man, and they don't stop growing. They don't slow down. And it's a weird thing, man, because you have to learn at each stage how to be a father or how to be a mother, and what do they need at that stage. They don't, it's different now. She don't need me to roll on the floor and pull out the Barbies and play Magic School Bus anymore. It's different things, and you have to learn and adapt to be instill principles and hope that don't spoil them, and don't let them feel like they're entitled. There's all kind of stuff that you got to make sure that you're imparting to your kid, that they grow up to be good citizens and good people, you know?
Yeah. It seems like that birth to 1 year for me, for her, it just seemed like it took forever. But then after that, it was like I blinked and now she's 14 talking about what she wants her first car to be.
A Range Rover, right? Is that what she said? The Range.
Yeah.
I want a Range Rover. What did
Right.
she say at first, though? She wants a Tesla, right?
Range Rover, Tesla, or a Mercedes G-Wagon.
Yeah, as the first car.
She's been watching too much YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTubers are driving around with all these cars and stuff. So,
I told her that, she said, what car do you think is good for someone's first car? I said, whatever their parents give them.
Yeah, well, your parents' car. Your parents get a new car and give you their car.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's what happened to me, and I was thrilled. I was
Mm-hmm.
thrilled to have that huge maroon Pontiac Bonneville.
Yeah. Garner says, yeah, Adam, yesterday was 14 years ago. Yeah. Ruckman's jumping in the stream. He heard us talking about Perfect Circle, and this is silly, but he says a Perfect Circle versus Tool, LOL. I think a Perfect Circle wins. Nah. They're both good, though. Anything Maynard touches is good. And then Garner says blasphemy. The Omniflux album is great. Man, that dude, yeah. Perfect Circle is amazing. That new album's good, too, so. And then so Jamie's commenting on that. He says he doesn't know much about Tool because they're not on iTunes. You better buy the album, fool. They got into some legal stuff, and I think with Alex Gray, because he did some of the art for them, and there was some legal stuff with him getting royalties, I think. So Christy says, yay, thank you. Let me know how much, and I'll send it PayPal right away. Super excited. So for a mug, I guess a mug like this or something with her logo on it in color.
I don't know. I'm not good at pricing my stuff.
We'll message you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to get through here. Everybody's talking about Tool and Pussifer and Maynard's music now. One Lifetime says, can I have you read a poem rhyme I wrote? A bit strange, but it flows. Sure. Send it to me on email or messenger or something. Kurt says, wow, okay, I barely even get to hear the cast live, and there's so much I wish I could say. I know, right? So many people, you know, they listen and they listen to interviews, and they they want to ask the guests questions, or they want to chime in, you know, and they yell at their phones and stuff, and then I get backlash from people, and like, you had that person on and you didn't say this, and you didn't do that, you didn't do this. And so it's always something to bring to the table. And like, I try to honor people when they come on, though. Like, I don't try to, it's not a debate show. I'm not here to debate and prove my point over yours. If you ridicule me or you don't believe in this or whatever the case is, I'm going to state my truth. And even if the person doesn't believe in it or agree with it, I'm still not going to fight them on it. Maybe once they leave the episode, I'll kind of give my take, you know, or whatever. But it's so funny that I get a lot of messages, people, you know, and I hear it from people. You got New Agers on and you didn't tell them about Jesus, you know, and all this kind of stuff. Like, I get that from people, and it's so funny. I wonder if TruthSeekah supports J Ruck. Jamie, you know I support you, man. I've given you a lot of wisdom over the years, and you trample it under your feet. You do not heed warnings. You do not listen when I give you sound advice. So, you know, it's on you. You're gonna do what you want to do, Jamie. Everybody knows Jamie, man. He gonna do what he wants to do. Jamie Jamie ran over a cow, and the man tried to, and it totaled his car, and the man tried to get him to pay for the cow. Love you, bro. Spiral Creation. Is anyone feeling lonely on their spiritual journey? I can't find anyone who understands me, family. That's why Discord is here. We're creating community with this. I know we're hanging out, being silly, answering questions and stuff, just being honest about life or whatever. But there's other people too, man. We have a strong knit community, and we operate through Discord, and the link is in the description. If you need somebody to talk to, if you have ideas you're trying to roll off of people, you need to talk, Discord is there, and that's totally the place to do it. So many people there. So I will suggest that you hang out with us on Discord. And everybody who's in chat, the majority of these people are members already. So make sure you check that out.
It's definitely a good way to not feel alone in your beliefs.
Yeah, we take that, like I said, I like to take that right away. Nobody understands me. Nobody believes in me. I don't have nobody to talk to, because we all feel that way. Like in life, you don't just, like, you might not have those people. Like, I was going to church. I wasn't finna talk about this stuff to a bunch of church people. Like, I needed to go online, and I needed to call into podcasts, and I needed to listen and do research. And that's why I do this today, is because this is what I needed when I had my awakening and didn't have nobody to talk to. So Discord's there. So that's a really good tool. We take advantage of the technology. Christy Lee says, hugging Mystic and Phoenix contribute so much in my life. Phoenix lets me hold him like an infant, rocking him and walking him and such. I try to do that to Chippy.
Yeah, you should see Phoenix though. Like, he really lets Christy Lee. She'll just hold him like this on his back, and she can rub his tummy, and he's just laying there. He loves it. So cute.
Kurt says, I think I will head to your website soon and send you an email. So amazing that you're doing stuff like this. And still remember 8 years ago as a pursuit metallurgy, discovering LCOB. Me too. I remember it too. And when I discovered LCOB. And now I'm the LCOB for a lot of people. So that's a really big honor, privilege to be able to do that, because it changed my life too, that music. Adam says, communication is key in relationships with one spouse's friends and children. Yes. And that could, that's kind of like, she compliments me. I talked about that, and having your partner, and like, I hold stuff in. She don't. I mean, maybe she tries to, but it comes out a lot sooner. I hold stuff in to where I blow up. You know what I'm saying? So she kind of helps me work through those stresses and stuff, and I might not say it if I'm not, like, I hold it in and try to work harder or do better or whatever, and I hold it in, and it's not good to hold that stuff in. You need to be vocal and have that spouse that you can confess it to. I mean, that's why the Bible talks about confessing your sins or confessing the things that are bothering you one to another. Like, we really need to do that to find healing. Adam says he holds his cats like babies too. Let's see. Renee says, I bartend, so I cleanse myself before each shift. Yeah. Chad says, can you hold up the mug again? Which one? So I got my mug on chat, and I'm holding it up. It's the little TruthSeekah logo for you guys who are listening. And then we have the other one that my wife made. And then there's the beer mug. See, we just got mugs everywhere. So it's the beer mug. It's huge. But I will drink that full of coffee. I will totally fill that up with coffee and drink it.
This one's actually for Chris Bars.
It's huge. Yeah, it's for Chris Bars when he comes down, I guess, or when Nicole comes down, wifey. Let's see. Haters gonna hate, trolls gonna troll. If you think you can do it better, step up, fool. Yeah. Show me. I can show you better than I can tell you. So, One Life says, I can't fit it here. 972 characters. Send it to my email. I'll read it. Check it out. I guess Renee says she has many, and she says, even my daughter was my soulmate. Oh. That's awesome. Lovebug says, is that your wife? Yes, that is my wife on stream. So, selling souls, Renee says. So, yeah, well, how long have we gone so far? Almost an hour and 40 minutes. We haven't even got anything to eat. So, One Life says he sent it through Facebook. All right, I'll check it out. Do you want me to read it on air? I mean, let me read it first. I'll read it first. So, yeah, we enjoyed this time. If there's any straggling questions, we're about to log off here, but if anybody has something they really wanted to ask and didn't do it, go ahead and send your message now for Spirit Wolf or myself or whatever, and we'll try to answer these last few questions. Anything that you wanted to say or talk about or do
No.
before we get off?
Just thanks for putting up with me. I know I'm kind of awkward on camera, but I mean, I'm here. I showed up. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for making it easy. Thanks for the haters for not showing up.
Oh, they're here. They're watching. Yeah, somebody disliked this video before we even went live.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I think we know who it was. Erin's website. Does she have a YouTube?
My website is spiritwolfliving.com, but it just takes you straight to the Young Living order page where you can order your oils and stuff. Or you can do Facebook Messenger. You can message me at facebook.com/Arien G.
Arien G, Arien G. And she does videos. She has some videos online, some inspirational videos covering some subjects on her Facebook. And every time she does one, people are like, they want to hear more. They want to know more. So, I don't know if she has her own podcast or just comes on here to help me from time to time. But yeah, you're cool as a fan. That's what Chad says. Thank you. Christy says, thank you, Arien and Truth, for being you and sharing your journey with me and everyone else. Y'all are beautiful. Thank you. Maybe this is a quick question, I guess, but it's kind of a weird question, but it says, this is from Spiral Creation. Do you think there are any implications spiritually to getting a mortgage? I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do. I don't know if it's the right thing to do. Getting a mortgage. I know people who have taken vows of poverty, and they don't believe you're supposed to own anything. But if you want to, it's kind of like how our world, you got like doing that, you just got to make sure it's the right thing. You got to think about the long haul, like, you know, because you're going to probably be locked into something like that for a long time. So make sure that it's the right thing, whether it's a car note, whether it's a house mortgage or whatever. So always, you know, do everything with prayer and supplication and make sure you're in the right place God wants you and has you. All right, Analog says, thanks for sharing, YouTube. Very inspirational. Blessings, guys. And again, thank you guys for supporting my work and making this possible. It definitely wouldn't be possible without your help and support, especially to this capacity that we're doing it. And we're touching a lot of people, man. It's just, I think I need to just do a partner thing where I kind of show you guys some of the impact and show you. Most of you guys know that support. Like you guys have been blessed by the music or by the podcast or whatever. Even if it's just to know that you're not alone and there's other people like you and there's a safe space to kind of be yourself. So I've been thinking about, you know, and I have before, but showing you guys some of the messages on the back end, because it's not possible without you guys supporting. So again, thank you for the impact, and I believe you guys sharing that harvest with us. And so you should see those messages, man, because without you, I don't think they exist to that capacity. The music changing people's lives. I mean, people who were suicidal, people who gave up on God, gave up on life, their family, like, but just new life has come to them through the podcast, through the music and all of this stuff. Like, literally, man, this stuff is every podcast, every guest, it's all strategic. It's all a calculated step. Even if I don't see it when it happens, like there'll be topics that we touch on and things that we talk about that will get new eyes onto what we're doing, only to tell them, look, God still loves you and hasn't forgotten about you, has a plan to bless you, prosper you, and hasn't, you know, regardless of what your pastor told you, regardless of what your parents told you, God still loves you and is in love with you and wants a relationship. And even that right there, man, just has the power to change somebody's life. I have the messages to prove it. We have the fruit. You guys are giving and giving and sowing into good ground. And so the money and things like that, that keeps us going, being able to do this, man, it's making an impact in the earth, and it's growing and it's blowing up for a reason. It's giving life to people, man. So thank you, each and every one of you guys, no matter what level, what way you contribute to the stream, to the podcast, to the music, the encouragement. you know, all of that stuff matters, and it really is having an impact on the earth. So again, everybody supporting my work via Patreon, enabling me, supporting this financially. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart.
It truly, truly would not be possible without you guys.
Some people look at it because they see it growing. You know what I'm saying? There's more people who are giving. So they say, okay, I don't need to support anymore because there's a lot of people supporting. And then they pull out, but they don't know that, like, they're part of that lot of people, or they're part of, you know, every little bit helps. At the end of the day, it really does. And so, like, thank you. You know, I can go into detail and all that kind of stuff, but again, just thank you. And we're going to try to make it worthwhile. Like, you get a lot of cool stuff. It's not just giving money. Like, you get access to some really cool music, if I do say so myself. Yeah. 200 plus songs for however much a month that you join and sign up for. So thank you guys. Again, I'm going to just run through these questions right at the end here. Garner says, thank you, Aaron, for being such a support to the podcast. This platform helps so many people. Behind every great man is a great wife.
It says greater.
Greater. Oh, my. It does. Greater wife. Yes, she's great. Excellent. And then Christy Lee says, yes, you're excellent.
I love it. I've always supported it. I've always known this was your calling. I'm just thankful that you get to do it freely and full time now, that you're not going on 3 hours of sleep and just doing a 2-hour podcast. I'm so grateful.
Christy says, y'all are awesome. God bless. Many, many thanks. Lovebug says, do you have any info on organ donation if it's a bad idea?
I'm an organ donor.
I am too, but I think I want to take it back, because I think when we get resurrected, when Christ comes back, I need my parts.
I want new parts. I'm giving my old ones away.
I'm joking. Has crossed your mind? Those are those weird things that cross your mind, though.
Well, there's a lot of weird conspiracy theories about it, and a lot of people say if you're an organ donor, they won't save you at the hospital. They'll just let you die so they can take your organs and sell them to somebody.
Well, they say people have been targeted, too. That's a conspiracy with that. If you're an organ donor, that they have targeted people that have stuff that they need.
But I know people who have gotten organ donations and it saved their life, children even. So, like, if I'm dead, just take what you need if you can save somebody else. Mm-hmm. That's my view on it.
Let's see. House Dog says, what up, Trues? Got your wife on. Good stuff, my friend. Much love to you both from Ohio. That's Eric. What up? Go Bucks. Eric, what up, brother? Yeah, man. Good to hear from you, man. Your story, dude, when you reached out to me that one time, bro, like, as powerful as that prayer and was for you, it was more powerful for me too, brother. So that was good for us to connect like that a couple years ago now, and still have a friendship after that. So that just kind of grew my faith of what God can do over the phone, over the airwaves, man. You know, so blessings to you, Eric. Renee says, great shows, Tool. Your vessel of giving to your patrons is amazing. Hey, blessings, Chad. I've heard some conspiracies about organ donation. Yeah, I've had, some of those too. But it's interesting, man. Don't know. This world can be dark, man. It can be cold. So, Word says, thanks for everything y'all do and being positive light in the world. Yes, we have to. It's what we do. Thank you guys for being you. Every single one of you guys. Donating to this stream. Just being here. Regardless, like, we're all a part of this. And you guys, this doesn't exist without you. Like, this whole show we pulled from the chat, man. We're family here. So, you guys should do a mukbang on here. I don't know what that is.
I'm scared to look it up.
Don't look it up. It's like a eating challenge or something.
Oh God, that would be funny.
Oh, a large amount of food. Heck no.
Hot dog eating contest.
Yeah. I did some of that on camera, not eating a whole bunch of food, but we did we did, like, Burger King come out with some new stuff on the menu, and me and Nevaeh did videos, and you should have seen the hate
Oh yeah,
The
lots
hate
of
we
hate.
got from it. You're spiritual, but you're eating chicken. Like, it's all just Burger King. You're poisoning your family, and just you're supposed to be ascended and all this kind of stuff. And people just have their own ideas of who I am and what we do. And I will say this: I'm very spiritual. I love spirituality, but I sound more spiritual on my music than I really. I'm a real person too. I'm a real boy, and so. That's the balance through this whole thing. Being able to balance being you, loving to do regular human stuff, interaction, making people laugh, versus being a hermit or a monk who just is always meditating or always leaving your body. It's both of it, man. And it's you don't get one without the other.
It's almost like when in the Bible, when God was taking care of his people and they kept begging him for a king or a ruler.
Yeah.
Like we're real people. We're living together. We're making it work. And these people wanted this weird, like, public figure. Like, people say they want you to be real and they want you to be a real person. But at the same time, you have these other people who almost wish you had a mask on and were this fake. Like, they want you to be some spiritual guru on camera and not be who you really are.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the donation, Chad. Thank you. Adam says... Tribe, love you, TruthSeekah and Arien. Keep shining bright. You too. Yeah. And y'all keep doing y'all's thing, man. Everybody, whatever you're contributing to life and your dreams and goals. Like I said, like, this stuff is practical. It's hard work, whatever you want to do, but fight for it. Do something today. Like, I have so many, it's so Garner says vile vegans. I have so many friends who are just gifted and talented in so many things. So much so that I'll go through my friends and interview them. Like, most of the people chatting in here, like, a lot of these people have been on the show as guests who have these amazing stories and these beautiful things that they bring to the table. So whatever it is that you do, keep doing it. Fight for what you believe in. You can find ways to make an income and do your passion full time. I believe in that, whatever it is. That you want to do, and I'll try to encourage people to do that. And that's, man, I think it would be such a beautiful world if everybody got to do their heart's desire. It's harder for other people. Some people have given up on it, whatever. But I think we should fight for it. Fight for what you believe in, and fight for creating that life that you want. Like, whatever vision you have to make that thing come to pass, you can do it. Every single one of you. If you have a podcast, if you're going live, if you're sharing wisdom, you're sharing knowledge, you're making music, you're making videos, you're doing psychic readings, like, whatever you're doing Reiki, keep it up, man. And I believe in you. God believes in you. And, what the Bible says, if God before you, who can be against you? Make sure you're not fighting against God. Get with God. Work with that essence of who God is, and know that God is blessing you in your visions and your dreams, and make it come to pass. So. That I'm gonna say peace and shalom. You good?
Yeah. Peace and shalom. Thanks for having me on. She's
good, guys. All right. Love y'all. We'll do it again. Peace. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Your way so much higher than mine. So much higher than mine. So much deeper than mine. So much deeper than mine.
Well, that does it for this episode, folks. To hear more episodes of the TruthSeekah podcast, head over to TruthSeekah.com. And if you're wanting to support the show and get rewards, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/TruthSeekah.